The Muslim majority country is preparing to reform its family law, including new limits on underage marriage and boosting women's inheritance rights. But activists believe the initiative is already falling short. Morocco's Justice and Islamic Affairs Minister unveiled massive changes to the country's family law on Tuesday. The initiative aims to include over 100 amendments to the current law, which would also grant women more rights in disputes over child custody and guardianship, as well as a veto on polygamous marriage. So you see, the Islamic Affairs Minister of Morocco is proposing 100 amendments to their current law, which would also grant women more rights when it comes to the area of dispute over child custody or guardianship, as well as veto on polygamous marriage. And you know that Morocco is a Sharia country where Sharia law is being practiced. So I don't really think that these 100 amendments are going to happen. That's my opinion. But I stand to be corrected. It might be that this Islamic Affairs Minister might succeed. It might equally be that the majority of the Morocco people will stand up against it, because this new amendment is going to give the women the veto right on polygamous marriage, of which you know that their country's Islamic law permits them to practice polygamy. Yes, and of which this new law is going to limit the underage marriage. But it's only time will tell if the Islamic Affairs Minister will succeed with this 100 amendment, or the people of the country will rise up and say no, they want things to be the way they are. The only thing that is constant in life is change. It only time will tell. This is Morocco's first review of its family code in 20 years. So this is the first time in 20 years that they are reviewing their family code. Women's rights activists have long been calling for a revision of regulations governing the rights of women and children within the family. Their demands focus on full equality in inheritance, child custody, as well as total ban on child marriage. So these women rights activists are asking for a ban on child marriage. They are filing for full equality in inheritance and child custody. The latest reform will not meet those demands, but it does aim to modernize the legal code in the disputed areas. For example, it will not abolish the Islamic-based inheritance rule, which grants a man twice the share of a woman, but it will allow individuals to give any of these assets to their female heirs. So, based on what they are saying, they are not going to abolish this law of based on inheritance rule that a man have 2 times share than a woman, but it will be modernized that a man can decide to give any of their daughter or any of their heirs the shares they want to give to them. The initiative was unveiled after 2 years of consultations with civil society as well as judicial and religious parties. The new legislations still requires parliamentary and royal approval, and Quabia is set no timeline for the amendments to come into force. So it means that their parliament still need to vote on this, and they need the royal approval. So it's only time will tell if this Islamic Affairs Minister will be able to pull this one. It is going to be a big win for the women of Morocco when it comes to these categories.